CSC is ready to come back to the negotiating table, anytime, any place, and we're willing to do that with no preconditions. And what I mean by no preconditions is that we're not demanding that the workers come back to work, although we really want them to. But the workers don't necessarily have to come back to work to get us back to the table.
After saying those words Wednesday morning, Gary Richardson, Computer Sciences Corporation Program Manager at Vance Air Force Base, received his wish. Jerry McCune, President and Directing Business Representative for International Association of Machinist and Aerospace Workers District Lodge 171, released a statement Wednesday afternoon extending an invitation to CSC and its subcontractors to return to the bargaining table at 9 a.m. Saturday at the Cherokee Strip Conference Center in Enid. Richardson said they would be there. CSC and subcontractor workers at the base began their strike at 12:01 a.m. June 8th. Union members voted by a 94% margin June 5th to reject the company's last, best, and final contract offer, then voted by a 96% margin to strike. McCune said 99% of the union's members have been walking the picket line near Vance's West Gate on South Cleveland. Since the strike began, flying operations at Vance have been suspended. Earlier this week, 27 student pilots and instructors were moved to 2 Air Force bases in Texas to resume their training.
I think you are so far apart, the two sides, that if you did go back to the negotiating table, it would be a lengthy negotiation, or do you think maybe you're close enough on some issues that it maybe wouldn't take that long?
I don't think it would take that long. We were very close on several issues already before the strike started.
I had a lady call earlier, and she said that, kind of repeated some of the same things that I've heard and that we've talked about. CSC doesn't care about the workers. CSC is trying to cut too many corners and has not gotten good reports from the Air Force. This and the other thing. You want to address any of those?
Well, let me address that we don't care about our workers, because we absolutely do. As I mentioned to you earlier, we're a service company. We're a people company, and we wouldn't be successful to the degree we are if we didn't care about our people. We care about our people because we want to get them back to work so that they can start drawing a paycheck again, and they can get their benefits back. So we care about our people. We did have some things that we wanted to change. Drug policy, for example, a very liberal attendance policy that we felt like needed to be brought up to date. Through the process of the negotiations we did get to do, probably down to 10 or 12 things that have not already been agreed upon. Of those 10 or 12, there are 4 that seem to be standing out above all others. The attendance policy, the person that is the lead person, drug policy, and we never even got to negotiate the wages.
As negotiations loom once more, CSC officials are trying to keep the base operating as best they can, Richardson said.
There are certain things that, certain critical areas that we feel like we need to keep going. We need to keep air conditioning in buildings. I have a number of exempt employees who know how to do that. They're working very hard to keep those things going. Mowing the grass. The Air Force would have loved us to get the swimming pool back open. We're trying to do that. The problem with that is, as I understand it, that people buy passes to the swimming pool and they're not getting anything for their money. So we're trying to get the swimming pool open for them. Those are our lifeguards, the people who work the swimming pool. Lodging, daycare center, childcare, those sort of things. We're asking some exempts to go do those things so that we can keep them open as well.
What about hiring new personnel to cross the picket line and go out there and work? Where's the company at on that?
We looked at doing that. First of all, if we did that, we'd have to make sure that anybody understood that it was a temporary position. We gave consideration to do that. We backed away from it because we thought we would get this resolved quick enough. It's not our desire in the long run as a long-term solution to do that. We'd rather get our own workers back. They know what work needs to be done, and they're the skilled labor. So we're not actively hiring people to come in and do those jobs.
Richardson said their task is simple, and it begins Saturday.
The goal is to get back to work, to get those people back to work so they can get their lives back together and start drawing a paycheck. And to get the United States Air Force back into its training mission. And to get this community back into a better viable position. I know the community's concerned about what's going on. They can't help but be. Let's get this thing resolved. It's not doing anybody any good. It's not doing the workers any good. It's not doing the Air Force any good. It's not doing the Enid community any good. It's not doing anybody any good.
This is Violet Hassler for Enid News TV.